8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? We're back with another episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up, my guy? How you doing on this early morning that you got me up before the butt crack of dawn here?
You'll be all right. I'm doing pretty well here. We'll stop going to bed at 5 in the morning, and you'll be okay.
Well, I have to do my wifely chores and send my wife off to work and do all that before I'm able to go to sleep. So
You're so
that's why.
sweet.
That's my job now.
Yeah, hey,
That's the duties of being a stay-at-home wife. So
ain't nothing
I have
wrong
to
with
get
that.
everybody else tucked in and sent off before I'm able to,
If I
go to
come over,
sleep.
will you
So
feed me a meal too?
nope, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
cook.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Better step up your
that's
game,
not part
girl.
of
No,
my
I'm just
chores.
playing.
I
Oh,
do
wow.
half the cooking. We'll say that.
Oh, okay.
We split it.
Oh,
What's
okay.
up, fam? Hope everybody's doing great out there. What is today anyway? Tuesday. Shit, I'm not used to us doing a show on a Tuesday.
I know.
What's
And
up,
an
fellas?
early one at that.
I know. I'm like, gotta get with the program. Alberto, what's up? What's up, B? John B, what's up? Hope everybody's doing great on this lovely Tuesday. We're gonna get into some draft stuff, some past draft stuff. Talk about some. I know TL don't want to use the word bust anymore, but we're going to talk about some draft busts from the past, and we're going to also talk about some draft bests from the past. But before we get into that, I want to talk about some stuff that doesn't have to do with football at all. We just wrapped up March Madness. We know that March Madness is a big deal, especially in Vegas. Like Vegas has been popping this last month. It's been hella packed. My wife, especially working in the casinos, like every day that she gets home tells me like how crazy the casino was that night. It's just been ridiculous. So, which is good for Vegas, good for us, keeps our community going. So we appreciate that. But I kind of wanted to talk about the guys obviously wrapped up last night with not very much drama. So congratulations to UConn. They took home the championship. So we'll just close off with that because, there's not much to talk about there.
Yeah.
Let's get into the other game with the females that wrapped up the night before. Congratulations to LSU. However, let's talk about that for a little bit because that seems to be the topic of conversation still today, which is good because it seems like, women's basketball doesn't get talked about very often. I think this last probably year, especially here in Vegas, it gets talked about more, obviously, with the Aces winning, the WNBA, obviously bringing the first championship to Vegas, bringing the first parade to Vegas. So, women's basketball kind of got talked about, a little bit more this past year. Now, women's basketball this last couple of days has been like nonstop on social media, whether it's for the right reasons, the wrong reasons, it's being talked about. So prior to that, though, the views on the games alone were up, so that, prior to all the drama was great in itself because even, the women's basketball games up until that point and the finals were way higher viewed than the men's. And I think that's the first time that's ever been, so that shows you, how entertaining these women's games were once it got to these finals. I kind of want to get your feelings though on this. And before we get into the back and forth between Angela Reese and Caitlin, I want to get your thoughts on the whole Jill Biden thing where she invited the losing team. Well, I don't think she like made it official that she invited them or, but she had like said, oh, maybe she did, I don't know, but there was a clip out there of her saying like that she wanted both teams to come to the White House because we know that the winning championship team, whenever they win in any sport, the winning team usually goes visits the White House, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Never, ever in any sport in history that I can ever remember. And we all know my memory's bad, so maybe I'm, can't recall, but I don't ever remember a losing team going with the winning team to the White House. Okay, so for her to say the losing team should come with the winning team to the White House. Now we know, let's put out there, that the losing team was a mostly white team.
Mm-hmm.
The winning team is a mostly black team. So let's put that out there. What were your thoughts on that whole situation?
Oh man, this is crazy. Well, so you said you only wanted to talk about the White House invite, right?
I mean, you can get
just
into whatever you want.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, this generation is soft. That's all I'm going to start off that way. This generation is soft. I mean, I played sports my whole life. The trash talking is amazing on the football field, the basketball court. I mean, on the football field, you tackle somebody, you getting your mama talked about, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Talked about your mama, your auntie, whatever the case may be. That's what we did. That's just how you get under people's skin, because you want that advantage. And some people don't have the thick skin to take that kind of trash talk. But it happened, and nobody. I mean, I get it. Stuff now is so in the open as far as people recording stuff and all this other things, but nobody went home and cried about it, complained about it. Now it's, oh, this is classless or whatever the case may be. All I gotta say is, I'm not naive. I'm not stupid. There is racism in America. Okay, there's racism in America, but you will be. People show themselves when they don't put energy to both sides. Like that guy who owns Barstool Sports, he came out with this "you classist piece of crap," but
and I think that's really what started this whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
I cleaned it up, but that's not what he said. But you classless, like, okay, you want to call her classless, fine, but why you got to add that on the end?
Yeah,
Like,
what was it? You classless piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what he told her.
Yeah.
That's what he called her. That's crazy to me. And then, of course, that sparked.
And you're saying this about a female college student.
Exactly.
This isn't even a grown adult. She's a sophomore in college.
Yeah. This is probably like a 19 or 20-year-old kid who probably can't even have alcohol yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're sitting here calling her this, which is incredible that you would even stoop to that level to even say that. So I think that sparked the whole thing. And there's people that have been going back and forth with the way that Caitlyn did it was one way. The way that Angel Reese did it was another way. Okay, trash talk is trash talk. You can't choose and pick and choose how people do their trash talking. You know what I mean? If they want to get in your face and do it, they want to do it from a distance, do it, whatever the case may be, people are going to trash talk their own way. So, and they were showing stuff of Caitlyn when she was, when the girl from South Carolina was going to shoot a three, and she was like, go ahead, let her shoot. Like, pretty much, I'm not even going to guard her.
Mhm.
So it's okay. You know what I mean? To sit there and have some trash talk. Like, there is nothing wrong with that, which is crazy to me. I think it's getting out of hand. Like, I posted it, I think yesterday. I was like, this Caitlyn, Angel Reese thing is going to go on for at least a month, isn't it? And everybody was like, probably longer, and this and that. And then I got somebody came at me that was like, you're a black man, and why'd you put Caitlyn's name first and not Angel Reese? That's the kind of foolishness I can't stand.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious. Like, pretty much, like, because I put Caitlyn Clark's name first and Angel Reese's second, it was, well, I should be looking out for the black woman. Like, that's the kind of stuff to me that's some foolishness. Like, and it's funny because I was going to clap back and then they deleted it. Because I think they thought about it like, oh, yeah. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, unfortunately, it's going to go on probably for a while. And hopefully it starts to simmer down a little bit, because it is what it is. Like, I forgot who posted, but somebody came out and had an amazing clap back about the whole thing. Like, about, what Caitlyn did was okay, and what Angel did was okay. It's fine. And when you come about the views, I mean, this national championship game had 9.9 million viewers. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's unheard of for that. And and let's be honest here, people were more in tune with the game because of Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
Her story has been going on all tournament, how she was the female Steph Curry, and being called the second coming of Diana Taurasi. If you guys follow female basketball, that girl's a legend. Diana Taurasi. She played for the Phoenix Mercury, I think, for pretty much her whole career. So so she had all this. So shouts out to both teams. Give it up to Iowa. Give it up to LSU. There's no favoritism on both sides. As far as the White House situation, I'm gonna say this. Maybe, and I'm not a fan of this administration at all. I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not a fan of his wife, that whole family. But what I'm looking at is maybe she's looking at it because there's so much controversy right now. She wants to kind of have them both come for unity, which could be the case, but you're absolutely correct. A losing team has never been invited to the White House. So if that's the case, if you want to invite the losing team, why didn't San Diego State get their invite? So it looks like you're just catering to Iowa because of what you just said about, it being an all-white team and, whatever the case may be. And there's just so much controversy. So maybe that's why she's inviting the losing team, but I've never heard of that in my 43 years of life.
Are the Eagles going to go?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hear about the Eagles going. Who played in the World Series? I didn't hear about the losing team getting invited. You know what I mean? So
the Phillies or
whoever. Like whoever. Yeah. So I just don't agree with it. Like I said, if you're gonna do that, it'd be different if she said, you know what, I want to invite San Diego State and Iowa to the White House. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're changing some things, but no, I think they're just trying to, I think they're being soft and just like, well, Iowa deserves to come too. And I personally don't agree with that. Let LSU have their shine. Let LSU come and do their thing and enjoy their moment because they're the ones who won the championship, not LSU. So that's how I see it. It's just it's been some nonsense. It's just it's just gonna go back and forth, and I think there's a lot of people who love to just speak on stuff just because they just want it to keep it going. But it's like just okay, it is what it is. It wasn't right what people from people with a million followers coming out saying stuff about this. But like I said, keep the same energy for both sides. So that's my opinion on the whole situation. I think it's foolishness. Let it go already.
Yeah. You know what I do love though is that both girls and even both teams now have made a name for themselves, and hopefully will continue to shine and make a name for their whole careers. And I think it brought light to women's basketball as a whole, to both their teams, to LSU, to Iowa. They both have hella great teams.
Yeah.
Man, that was a great game. I didn't even watch the guys' game, honestly. But man, I was so on fire up until that point. And then I mean that I feel so bad for them though, that because the officiating, the refs of that game were complete shit. To have your best playmakers of that game to be in foul trouble in the very first freaking quarter and to be spending the most of the entire game like on the bench was complete shit. And so like I feel like it was a great game, but I feel like we missed out on an even better game than it should have been. But man, like it was just an awesome game. Like my wife was even sleeping and woke up, and she could care less, but like she even started watching the game and was all into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. Like man, the LSU girls came on. They came to play. Man, they came to play. Yeah. They were kicking ass. Like they were shooting threes like it was nothing. Like they could not miss. I was like, man, good for them. But yeah, I mean, you've seen that their social media presence since that game like has grown so much. Like, like you just think about like just the amount of money even that they're going to make from that game alone, the merch that they're going to sell. Like you've seen just the Reese has been, posting, like posting her merch and all this other stuff. One of the girls is putting out like have been posting that she's putting out a song with Lil Wayne, like all this stuff, like countless, endless possibilities, like is coming to those girls. So, shout out to them.
You know what I want to add too, and Gina, you're absolutely right. Caitlyn even came out publicly and said Angel Reese did not deserve the hate because she understands trash talk, she understands competition. What I will say though is I don't respect the people who are giving Caitlyn hate because of this whole situation.
Yeah.
Like I hate the fact that like this girl was cooking all tournament, and I've seen comments on Twitter, everybody just mad because a black girl just shut down the white chick, and like that's uncalled for. That's uncalled for. Wasn't nobody ever able to shut her down all tournament, and now all of a sudden you guys want to talk trash? Like they game plan for her, and she still got hers. She still got what she had like over 30 points. She still got hers, so she just did her thing. But to
and
make
was
those
on the
comments,
bench half the game.
Yeah, but for people to sit there and make them comments, oh yeah, the black woman shutting down the white. Come on now, like you know, don't talk about you want equality when you make them comments. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that's
what I hate that it's come
that's some
to
foolishness.
Now.
That's some foolishness. Like don't do that. Like everybody was. I mean, I've seen people. People of all races give nothing but props to Caitlyn this whole time.
Yep.
So don't go after her now because this has nothing to do with her. Like people making their comments about the trash talking has nothing to do with Caitlyn. So she doesn't deserve any of the hate and trash talking that she's getting on Twitter. I think that's crazy. But like just give respect to both teams. Like I said, the trash talking was done. It was done on both sides. Caitlyn had been doing it all tournament, but it does look bad when you got people coming out talking this crap about, this is classless, and she didn't have to do all that when there was nothing said about Caitlyn all tournament. And don't cry when people say it sounds racist when it's justified because you haven't said nothing all tournament until it was done by the black athlete. You know what I'm saying? So you need to watch what you're doing too. You got to take some responsibility for the way that you choose to handle situations and speak upon situations if you're not going to be able to take the heat that comes your way.
There you have it. What's up to some people? Let's say what's up to some people that joined us. Bebopperoni, what's up? Gina, what's up, sis? Got TL's girl in the house. What up, what up? We got Sacktown Izzy. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 bang, bang, Niner gang. I think that was everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up to lurkers? We appreciate y'all being here. So a couple more things and we'll get into some redraft stuff. So some rumors came out this week that at the combine, our wonderful coach, Mr. Shanahan, was flirting with his crush, Mr. Kirk Cousins. That, prior to obviously Purdy's, this was, before they went in and did Purdy's surgery. So obviously they didn't know if they were going to be able to do if he was going to have the full Tommy Johns or, if they were going to be able to do the partial with the internal brace or whatnot yet. The rumor came out that Shanahan was, finding out what if Kirk Cousins would be available, kind of what Kirk Cousins' status was and all that. When I heard this, it kind of made me sick to my stomach because it's like all these years, 7 years or whatever later, and it's like we're still at this point. We're still at the same point we were at as when Shanahan walked through the front door. In the point, like, yeah, we have a way better team, right? Yes. But from the quarterback spot, the same spot to where rumors are Shanahan flirting with Kirk Cousins. Shanahan wants Kirk Cousins. Kirk is 7 years older than when he was then.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him get any better than when he was then. I don't like him any more than what I did then. I wouldn't feel any better about him being on our team than I would have then. I didn't want him then. I don't want him now. I hate that we're still in the same spot of rumors of Kirk Cousins coming to the 49ers. Rumors of every quarterback that's available coming to the 49ers. It's still, oh, well, if Aaron doesn't sign with the Jets, could it be possible that he comes to the 49ers? It's like every single Tom Brady, is he going to come out of retirement still, come to the 49ers? It's like,
Mac
when is
Jones.
this? Yeah, now, yeah, I have that marked down next to get into Mac Jones right after this. It's like every single quarterback that becomes available, we have to still be in these rumors of them coming to the 49ers because we can't get a quarterback on this team that's worth a damn. Like, why are we still here? If we have this offensive genius, why? And we have this, franchise that's so beloved, the franchise that everybody wants to play for, this great historic franchise. Why are we still in this position that we're in right now?
Yeah, it's funny you're mentioning all this. Yesterday Peter had a show on Niner. What is this channel? Niner Fanatic podcast or whatever. He had a show, and it's people in the chat that were saying some stuff, and they were like, because he was talking about that JT O'Sullivan thing and how he was talking about Kyle and stuff like that. And he said that the thing about 49ers fans, we can, and when I talk about all of them, just a lot of us, percentage of us that think that Kyle can't do no wrong.
Hey, Eric.
Like
hey,
you can't
David.
like you can't say anything about Kyle without somebody saying you're a hater and all this other stuff, because we talked about the Mostert thing and him saying about running the football more, and people like that. Yeah, did you? And then so Peter was like, Peter was like, I'll say this, Kyle Shanahan's a great play caller, but I can't call him a great coach yet. Can't be a great coach until you win me a Super Bowl. And I agree with that. Like, nobody is above reproach. I've said that time and time again. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're John Lynch. I don't care if you're Jed York. We're all human. We make mistakes. So to sit there and think that, Kyle is just some perfect guy who can't get any kind of criticism is crazy. And I blame this on Kyle. This quarterback situation is a mess since he's been here, going on year 6, 7, whatever it is, and we still can't figure it out. There was always a chatter of, I'm not going to look into quarterbacks because I'm waiting for Kirk Cousins to come in free agency and all this other stuff. It's like you need to do your due diligence and look at everybody. Everybody should be looking at being upgraded at some point, and there's no harm. And we go back and shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Could have had Patrick Mahomes. Okay, well it didn't happen. We could have traded up to get us a Josh Allen, whatever the case may be. It didn't happen. But at the same time, this quarterback situation is a mess. And blame, like I said, I blame it on Kyle because he makes his mistakes. Not knocking him. He's a great. To me, he's a great.
Speak to the devil.
There you go. There's Peter right there. Yeah. So he's a great play caller. He schemes people open. One of the best in the business. Top 2 in my opinion, right after Andy Reid. But if you look at everything as a coach, I agree with what Peter said. He's not great. And like I said, this whole quarterback situation should have been nipped in the bud already. You shouldn't be going into year 7 and still not know who your quarterback is. And people say, well, you got to give them credit. They thought they had the quarterback of the future and gave that contract to Jimmy. Well, that was a negligence in my opinion, because you gave him $150 million after 5 games. It should have been a franchise tag. So, like I said, we're not going to sit here and cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. When we had Gina on the show, Gina had us on her show, remember months ago, I think before the season, and we were on there with the Vikings fans. And the Vikings fans seem to love Trey Lance. And they were like, I welcome a trade to Trey Lance. So they'd be open to it. So I think that's probably why you have the situation with the Vikings and Kirk Cousins, because it probably could work out for both teams. That's why Kirk Cousins is always in the news for us every single year, because you got Trey Lance, who's from that area, from Minnesota. So the fans will probably embrace him. Then you got Kirk Cousins, who knows Kyle's offense and who has won games with Kyle. And I don't care what people think. I don't want Kirk Cousins on this team, but if he came, I'd welcome it because I'm a 49ers fan first and foremost, and he's better than Brock Purdy. So I think with him, we could probably look at a Super Bowl, because with these weapons, he has the best receiver in the league, in my opinion, in Justin Jefferson. But I don't think that as far as a collective of weapons, nobody is better than San Francisco right now. Nobody. So you get us a Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to be happy about it at first. I'm like, man, why they do that? But I would understand it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with you. He's 7 years older now. This ain't a 27-year-old Kirk Cousins anymore. You know what I mean? This is somebody that's probably like 32, 33 now, whatever he is. I might be wrong on the age, but you guys feel where I'm coming from. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just hope that
See.
this is the year. And it's like I mentioned it, I think it was on Ted's show. It's funny how we have the most uncertainty
He's 34.
he's 34. So yeah, so when he was trying to come here it was 27. So you look at you look at the NFC as a whole, and even the NFL. We're one of the best teams in the NFL. If you want to talk about I feel like there's 5 to 6 teams who have a Super Bowl window where they're like you can say that they can win now. You know what I mean? There's probably about 5: Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, Bengals, and Bills. That's probably the only 5 I would say. Okay, they have a chance to actually win a Super Bowl and not just make the playoffs, Super Bowl ready. And yet we have the most uncertainty at quarterback. That just goes to
Yeah.
show you how great this roster is. But I just hope this is the time where we get in, we figure it out, and we actually have have whoever the best man wins. I'm with Gina. I think Gina said it a couple of days ago. I don't care who the quarterback is, just get me number 6. I'm tired of it. If it happens to be Sam Darnold, which I doubt, if it's Sam Darnold, if he beats out Trey and he starts off 5-0, don't pull him if he's playing well. Leave him in there because you don't want to mess up the chemistry. If it's Trey Lance, he's 5-0. Don't pull him. I don't care if Brock Purdy's healthy. You go with what's winning because that's what you did last year. Go with what's winning, keep it up, and then whoever ends up taking us to the promised land should have their job for 2024 going on. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it.
Yeah. You talk about, Trey, in Minnesota, like if the 49ers were, and trust me, I don't want it to happen, but if they were to trade Trey anywhere, like that's where I would want it to be. And I wouldn't want Kirk Cousins in a return. Like I'm not like you. I don't want him on our fucking team regardless of any circumstance. But if we were to trade Trey anywhere, like I would want it to be there because like you said, like those fans have been wanting Trey Lance there since the beginning. Like those fans have Trey Lance as their pictures of their profile pictures, faithful to the Trey, like as their names. Like those fans are hardcore Trey Lance fans. Like I feel like they'll be taking care of Trey Lance over there, and like these 49ers fans do.
I will say this, and I'm being dead serious. If Trey's a week 1 starter, and I posted this on Twitter a few days ago, if Trey's the week 1 starter, and he starts off, and we're 2-3 after 5 games, but he's playing exceptional. Maybe it's just the defense not playing well, whatever the case may be. Because like we've said, Kyle's offense has always started slow. The team's always started slow every single year. If Trey Lance comes in and he's 2-3, and he's 14 total touchdowns, let's say he has 10 touchdowns, throwing 4 on the ground, only 2 interceptions, and they pull him and they say, oh, we're not winning with Trey, I'm going to have to sit back and think about these 49ers because I'm going to feel some type of way. Like I don't think they would do it if he's 5-0, 5-0, 6-0, whatever the case may be, because we're winning. But I'm saying keep that same energy like you did with Jimmy when he went 2-4, 3-5 against the Colts in the rain, and you kept him in, although we had Trey in the wings. So I just hope that Trey is treated with respect and he's given a fair opportunity. Now, if he sucks, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. But if he's playing well and you pull him, or if we're not, because you say, well, like if they say, oh, we're 5-0, but Brock Purdy's healthy and he's the one we want to go with, I'm gonna feel some type of way if they do that to Trey.
Yeah, I'm really worried about how that situation is going to be handled. Like, I don't know, like with this whole thing that Larry Krueger's pushing that the 49ers are going to trade Trey Lance at the draft, and just like I just don't see how that can play out. Like that theory just doesn't make sense to me. So let's say
it's a backwards move.
Yeah, like don't we need quarterbacks? Like how are we going to roll into the training camp, into the off-season programs, into all that with no healthy one healthy quarterback? Like I don't know.
Yeah, and then for them to say, oh, for Malik Willis, who to me is more of a project than Trey.
Yeah.
So like that's a lateral move, if not a worse move, because now like you're trading Trey because you don't think you're trading Trey because you feel, well, I have Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold and Trey's a project, but then you're trading for Malik Willis, who is probably a more project than Trey, because first of all, Trey at least knows your offense for the last 3 years. This dude don't know anything about your offense.
Yeah.
So is that a smart move to trade for Malik Willis? That wouldn't make any sense to me.
And like, did you see what Malik Willis looked like when he played?
Oh my gosh.
Like way worse than what fucking Trey looked like. Like, what are we doing here?
This was terrible when he played.
But it's like, so okay, let's throw his fucking theory out the window. So let's say Trey, is the guy. He beats out Sam Darnold, through the offseason, yada yada. So he's the starter. Like, it really worries me what's gonna happen, like between that weeks 1, week 4, 5, area right there. Because like what you keep saying, like we know how the 49ers start off on defense, and we heard, not only how the offense starts, but we heard how Shanahan, and how the coaches said, oh, well, we lost so many coaches that it even took time for the coaching staff to, get, for us to learn how to gel and and we lost coaching staff again, so
yeah. So yeah,
and it just like sucks that again, he's not going to get his fair shot because everything around him's not fucking working out right.
Yeah.
So he's going to get blamed for that shit.
Yeah, because we were talking on Spaces the other day, and I was like, regardless of the situation, everybody on here, the chat, you guys can respond as if you want. But it's like you look at after that Chicago Bears game, Trey Lance was blamed for that loss, which to me was crazy. Nobody had taken account to the Debo fumble on the 5-yard line, the blown coverages, stuff like that. Like, I feel like the defense let us down more than the offense did. Like the offense, like before it started coming down, Trey had some beautiful throws. The one to Ray McLeod, to Juwan Jennings, like it looked good in the beginning. And then we got down inside the 10. Debo had the ball, fumbled on the 5, took away all the momentum we had. And then at the end of the day, and it's like, this is what pisses me off. Use that same energy for everybody. We can go back to the Colts game 2 years ago when we went into the bye week 3-5. Jimmy played awful in that Colts game. 2 picks. He couldn't hit the side. The old saying, couldn't hit the side of a barn. But after that game, it was, he still give him a chance. Kyle's offense starts off slow. Just Jimmy will get it right and blah blah blah.
That's all for Jimmy for the last how many years?
Yeah, it's always the same thing. Oh, he'll get it right. He'll get it right. This, and that. But then I guarantee you, we start off slow. It's going to be what we looked at last year. Well, Brock didn't lose games. Trey's 2-5. Like I said, if we start off slow, if Trey is the reason for it, it's a business. Do what you got to do. But if he's playing well, and if you decide to pull him just because we're 2-3, but yet he's not the reason, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It is.
It's frustrating.
Very frustrating
sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the Mac Jones situation a little bit.
Oh, that guy.
So, I mean, we all watched this Patriots situation play out last year and seeing that it was a total complete cluster. Like, you had, what was that stupid ass coach that they had play calling?
Oh, I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
So they had the defensive play caller, right? He went from being a defensive play caller, from being a head coach somewhere else. He got fired. So, Bill Belichick, we know he always brings his guys back once they get fired and can't make it everywhere else. And he had nowhere to put him. So he just shoves him into being an offensive play caller. Like, he's worked on the defensive side of the ball his entire life.
Yeah.
And now you're going to put him with a second-year quarterback. Okay, go to call plays. Like, what the hell? So, Robert Griffin puts out I saw a couple tweets come out from, a couple NFL guys today, but Robert Griffin III puts out a tweet today and says, the Patriots have reportedly shopped Mac Jones to other teams this offseason, trying to trade him after giving him a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator and a special teams coach as his quarterback coach last year is mind-blowing. And I'm a Bailey Zappi guy, love his game, but Mac's regression was a byproduct of his unconventional decisions with the offense. Thought it could be a tendency breaker and give them an edge, but the only people they confused were their own players. The other tweet I had seen was from an NFL Network guy, and it had said that every position group on the offense, so wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, every single position group came out and was complaining that they were taking steps down, that they didn't know what to do when they were on the field, that they didn't know the plays to run, that they had no idea what to do from a week to week basis out there on the field. Like, how you're on a professional team, a team that okay, I would expect this if it was the Browns, if it was the Jets, the freaking Patriots. The team that for almost my entire life, that I've known football has been the team that's won. This is what we're seeing. And then they're gonna scapegoat it on freaking Mac Jones. None of us wanted Mac Jones, but come on, we all watched him go in there and, we saw what he did his rookie season. He didn't look like complete garbage,
No, he didn't.
He put together a pretty decent season, and then we saw what happened his second season, like complete night and day difference, so man, what do you think about that whole situation?
It's crazy. And this is why people were scared of the Brock Purdy situation, because you look at what Jimmy did when he first came in. He was 5-0. Everybody, he's our savior.
Matt Patricia. Thank you.
Is that who it was, Matt Patricia? Yeah. The coach that used to be for the Lions, huh? Yep. Or was So he comes in. And I don't think this is Mac Jones' fault at all. He just, ever since Tom Brady has left that organization, that's been a mess, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, is Bill Belichick really that mastermind there? You know what I mean?
Remember, it was always the question: who's who? Is it Tom Brady or is it Belichick?
Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick hasn't shown anything since
Tom Brady has won a Super Bowl. So
since he's left, exactly. Yeah. So it's going back to, that's why. Everybody argues who's the best coach ever. I'm still gonna go with my guy on the Niners. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's still gonna be my guy. But so you look at everything, and it's just like, I think we should get Mac Jones. I'd rather do a swap. Let's trade for Mac Jones, and unfortunately, it's the people who supported Mac Jones in the first place.
Yeah,
the people who wanted him coming out of the draft. So they're loving to see all this stuff, which is sad. It's like we've been going back and forth. I've been having so many arguments on Twitter. It's like, you Justin Fields supporters and you Mac Jones supporters, it just need to get over it. Trey Lance is our quarterback. It's not them. And it's sad because a lot of them want to see Trey fail just to show that they were right. See, you should have just went Justin Fields. You should have just went Mac Jones. It's sad that you'd rather be right and have a player on the team fail than be wrong and have your team lose. I'd rather let me be wrong all day. Let me be wrong and be like, oh man, I messed up. I thought so-and-so was going to be the best receiver and I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong, people. You know what I mean? It's okay to be wrong. But I get people's concern because like I said, Jimmy starting off 5-0, got the highest paid quarterback contract at the time, didn't live up to expectations, and people say, well, Brock Purdy went 7-0, he deserves, I don't care what the situation. He played great, but that's still a small sample size. So people are scared like, okay, and I'm not saying that Brock Purdy can't get better because he can, but I think it's just the situations, but so can people who watch film on him. They can get better defending him. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. So people are just like, just want to hand over the reins, trade Trey, and just hand over the reins to Brock Purdy. That's like, no, if he does it for another full season, he's our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at the dog. He's our quarterback, but I get the concern. So that's why, there's all this other stuff, the Mac Jones situation. I don't want Mac Jones on my team. I'm sorry. To me, you're bringing in another Brock Purdy, in my opinion. Same type of style. So just leave it as is. I don't want Mac Jones on my team. Let's just roll with what we got. I still would like to draft another quarterback just to keep on the practice squad because we need as many quarterbacks as we do because this team has a history of quarterbacks not staying healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the whole reason that they went up to draft, a quarterback, that ended up being Trey Lance was because we kept getting, to where we were getting, and we needed somebody to be able to take us over the hump, right? We had a quarterback that was enough to get us right there. But, if everything that was perfect around him wasn't perfect, he wasn't enough to be able to carry the team and get us over the hump. Well, do we have that? Is Mac Jones that? Is Purdy that? Like, do we lose sight on what we were looking for? Like, I still don't feel like, we don't know that Trey Lance is that, but Trey Lance could be that. That's why they went out and got Trey Lance, because he has the potential to be that.
Don't say potential.
To be the guy that could be that. That if everything is not perfect on this team, he could be that.
Mm-hmm. Potential is a bad word for this organization and these fans. They don't want to hear potential. All I keep hearing every year since 2019, this is a Super Bowl roster. This is a Super Bowl roster. Well, we still haven't gotten anything out of it.
Well,
you know what I mean? I haven't got nothing out of it. I mean, yeah, and I don't like participation trophies. I'm sick of it. Well, we were in the NFC Championship 3 I don't care. I do not care. We're tired of it. We won a Super Bowl finally. 1994-95 season, last Super Bowl. I want another one. And I think Kyle, if he wanted a Mac Jones, he probably would have stayed at 12 and got him. But he wanted a quarterback that was a game changer. He wanted somebody that can, play 11-on-11 football, as we all say, and somebody who can escape, the pocket when need to, with some athleticism, not to be a running back, but to be able to escape and make plays with his legs. And that's what people get it twisted. Well, they said they wanted a quarterback to make plays with his legs. Yeah, but not to be a running back making plays. Mm-hmm. Be a Josh Allen type of Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson when the pocket escapes, or Russell Wilson in his prime. When a pocket collapses, a quarterback can escape with his legs. Or a quarterback that can improvise and give himself some time with his legs. That's what making plays with their legs mean, not being a running back. So I think Kyle saw that. I mean, his comments were clear. Can throw like Drew Brees and run like Lamar Jackson, because he knows the importance of it now. He knows that, these quarterbacks nowadays, the NFL is so much faster than what it used to be. These defensive ends are running 4.4s and 4.3s, and these linebackers are huge. I mean, they're fast. So it's like they want quarterbacks who can escape the pocket. They don't want statues. Now, Brock Purdy has some little bit of scoot in him. He has athleticism, but I don't think it's not what Trey has.
Right.
And like I said, too, it's like me and Ryan, when we were talking, and it's like, I think when it comes down to it, these teams, when it comes down to it, they know what kind of game plan that Shanahan calls. If we're in a clutch situation, NFC Championship, Super Bowl, down 10 points or whatever the case may be, and in the fourth quarter, you can't just dunk your way down to the Super Bowl and expect yak. Well, give it to Debo and hopefully he can get me 60 yards. Give it to McCaffrey and hopefully he can give me 70 yards.
Yeah.
You want somebody who has that ability to not only dink and dunk, but to also, go 80 yards on 2 throws. And we don't have that right now. Only one that really can do that is Trey, and maybe Sam Darnold if he's in his right mindset. But so I don't mind. It's okay to say open competition. I don't think everybody say you shouldn't hand the job back to Trey. I don't think you should just hand it back to Purdy either. Let him compete.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Purdy never had to compete for the job yet. So why should he get handed anything? He didn't have to compete for it in the first place. He was the third string quarterback. So he didn't compete for it.
Yeah. And what's sad is we talk about this all the time, and it's just, I just don't know where these people's mindsets are. And it's just funny to me. I understand quarterback's the most important position on the team. I get all that. But it's like, even me, even though I'm kind of down on Javon Kinlaw, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, he can't get better. Maybe this is his year. Who knows? But I'm not sitting here talking about he's a failure. He's this and that, because he's still on our team and who knows what he can do. So it's for people to still have faith in Javon Kinlaw and not have faith in Trey Lance is comical. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy to me, because I think when it comes down to the quarterback position, people just assume, oh, well, and a lot of people, regardless if they agree with this or not, there's a lot of fans who don't think that that a black man can really lead a team at the quarterback position. Even though we've seen Patrick Mahomes do it, he's mixed. We've seen Russell Wilson do it. Whatever the case may be. So the fact that people think that way is ridiculous. And I just hope that he gets his fair shot. And I'm with you. I'm worried because I agree with you. Trey's going to win the job, I believe. And how's the season going to start? Are we going to be slow? Are we going to be fast? Because even though we started off 8-0 in 2019, the offense still wasn't good. It was a defense that was winning this game. So I don't know.
Hey, Sin. Hey, JDLR. It's okay. You're here. John V says, I want to see Trey Lance succeed. I don't even care if it's not as a 49er. Let this organization get fucked in the butthole. Oh boy.
Yeah, I just like I said, like, me and Miriah, advocated real hard for Trey. We wanted him on the team. We made a bet on him to win some money. Like, I thought he was the guy from the get-go. And I'm a grown man. If he comes out and he sucks and he's a bust, I'll be the first one to say it. Okay, you know what? We messed up. Maybe we should have got this quarterback. Maybe we should have got that quarterback. I'm okay saying that. But it's just sad that people would rather have Trey fail and be right and say, I mean, look at people now. We should have got Justin Fields. We should have got Mac Jones. See. Like, who cares? Okay, if you were right, what do you want? Like, you want a pat on the back? So what? Like, the jury's still out. But people would, like I said, people would rather a individual fail and be right than have an individual look good and be wrong. Sad. That's narcissism, and that's people who I feel like have something going on internally that they just have to be right all the time, or they have to have that, oh, look at me, have the attention always on them because something happened along in their life where they weren't getting enough. That's how I see it.
I mean, and really, what have we seen Justin Fields do? He's got to play. He's got to actually play out 2 years, get his reps, and we haven't seen him do shit.
Nope.
Except run a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Mac Jones has got to play out 2 years, and we got to see him do what? Not shit.
Nope.
Trevor
Zach
Lawrence,
Wilson.
His first year, he didn't do shit. Last year, he finally got to see him do something. But
he's the first overall.
Games. Yeah, he was the first overall pick.
Yep.
Zach Wilson hasn't done shit.
Not at all.
So it's like, yet.
So here's the standard. A first overall pick can get 24 games to show their worth, but a third overall pick is considered a bust after four games.
Not even consecutive starts.
And no, exactly. Crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's get into some draft busts. Speaking of. So I thought we would, all this talk about draft busts, we would go back and look at, just from the 2000s, look at some of our wonderful draft picks that we've made over the last, years. Especially since, these people that want to just trade off Trey Lance, even though we spent, 3 first-round picks on him, and people just want to act like, oh, it's nothing, so what? If Purdy turns into something, oh, just trade off Trey Lance for a 3rd-round pick. Who cares about the 1st-round picks that we spent on him? Fuck it. It's just, just who cares? It's like, okay. It's like, I don't know. It's just crazy how people are just so willing to. It's like Shanahan and John Lynch, like they get no. What's the word? Like
don't get held accountable.
Yeah. Like they don't for wasting, if Trey Lance is a bust or you guys don't want to spend the time on him or whatever, and you guys are just going to get rid of him, they're not going to get held accountable for just wasting then those 3 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick on him. Like, it's just like, oh, whatever. You just threw those picks in the trash and it's just like, okay, we're just going to forget about it. No big deal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like
crazy. Yeah.
No big deal. Like we could have had 3 O-line players. We could have had a 1st-round wide receiver, a 1st-round running back, a 1st-round tight end, we could have had
Michael Parsons at 12.
Who knows? Yeah. Like we could have had 3 first-round busts, but we could have had 3 first-round hits. We could have had 2 first-round hits and a bust. We could have had, who knows, but
oh no, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, But to just say, oh, it's no big deal because they hit on Purdy. Well, who fucking cares? They didn't hit on Trey Lance if that's the case. Hopefully they did. But if we're just so willing to just throw Trey Lance away, well, then they didn't. And they just spent 3 first-round picks on him. So I don't know. It's just crazy. But yeah, so if, just let's go through a couple, just off the top of your head. If you were to, let's go through like 5.
5 players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through 2000s.
To the 2000s. Okay. So everybody who's on Twitter saw my tweet. I was gonna put this out there first. Saw my tweet, and I said I'm no longer gonna call these players that don't pan out
Hey,
a
Denise.
bust. People don't pound on a bus. They're just, yes, they didn't meet expectations. But I just started thinking, I'm just like, okay, is somebody who worked their tail off for their whole young lives make it to a league, whether it's NBA, MLB, football, NFL, whatever the case may be, somebody who has gone and did all the work, worked hard in college to get to where they're at, could I really call them a bust? I don't think I can, because they've accomplished something that thousands upon thousands, even millions, have strived for and haven't got there. So how can I sit there and call somebody, like I said, I'm gonna bring up somebody like a Jamarcus Russell, terrible football player, didn't meet expectations, number 1 overall pick, but the man made $36 million in his career. Can I really call him a bust? No. The man has accomplished something in life. He met a goal. Yes, he didn't stay there. He met a goal, put $36 million in his bank account. I can't. He's sniffing more money than any of us can even dream of. So how can I sit there and really call this man a bust? Yes, he didn't meet expectations. Yes, he didn't do good for his organization, but to call him a bust, I don't think that's fair. So that's my definition of it. You don't have to agree with me. That's just something I thought about, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to stop calling these players busts. So what I'm going to say is players who were picked, early, whatever the case may be, who didn't live up to expectations. First one that comes to my mind, who I was really high on, and I thought we had a steal at the time, was wide receiver Rashawn Woods. When we drafted him at Oklahoma State, I remember watching him in college. He dominated. I remember watching him against SMU his junior year. Had 7 touchdowns in one game. He was unguardable.
Wow.
Unguardable, 7 touchdowns in one game. And I don't know if it's still the record or retired or somebody beat it, whatever the case may be. But at the time, it was 7 touchdowns in one game as a wide receiver, not a running back, wide receiver, which is harder to do in my opinion. You can get the running back the ball inside the 5 and get him as touchdowns. But a wide receiver doing it over 4 quarters, 7 touchdowns is crazy. I thought he was a top 15 pick when we drafted him. I was so high on him. I thought, man, this dude's going to do great for us. Didn't pan out. I think after his 3rd year, we traded him straight up for a corner from the Chargers. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. I remember it was a trade from us and the Chargers. They got our receiver. We got their corner, and their corner didn't pan out either. So they were pretty much trading two unproven players for each other to see if maybe a change of scenery would help. So wide receiver Rashawn Woods is the guy that comes to my mind right away.
Yeah, and so for each of these players, I wrote a little thing on him. So for Rashawn Woods, he was drafted 2004, 31st pick. Woods' career stat line, 14 games, 7 catches, 160 yards, 1 touchdown, total seasons, 1. It said that there weren't many great receivers left in the draft at that point, but pretty much anyone else would have been better than Woods. Yeah, I will go back and forth. I gotta go with Solomon Thomas. Just because drafting him that high, especially, right, that was the draft when Mahomes was there, right? Like all these guys.
Yes.
And just to draft him 3rd overall, like a player like that, oh man. And, just the guy, he's such a good guy, and everything he went through, like, I feel so bad for him. And, like, I just feel bad for the guys because they're not just like, Javon, he didn't ask to be drafted there, like it wasn't the stupid 49ers fault for drafting the guy with the broken knees, like,
yeah.
But, and it's like, just because John Lynch went to school with him, like you draft your freaking homie there, like there's no reason why Solomon Thomas should have been drafted in that freaking spot. No way in hell. No
No,
other team in the world would have drafted the guy there,
not even
like,
close.
and like he was just doomed from the start. And
Yeah.
it was just like unfair to Solomon to even draft his ass there.
Yeah, and it was, what's funny, Mariah, like the whole draft process, him coming out of Stanford, they were like, oh, he's a late second to a third round pick. This is that. And then, of course, they go off of these numbers. They fall in love with these measurables. Oh, his 3-cone drill was amazing. His 10-yard sprint was amazing. But what did the tape tell you? If
Yeah.
the tape told you he was a late second, early third round pick, then you should have went off that, not because he looked good in shorts. And that's what Chad Johnson always says. Show me a player in pads before you show him in shorts. Because that's what it comes down to. So seeing this man in shorts, they fell in love with him. And you're right. John Lynch had a class with him at Stanford. They were buddies. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You need to be able to separate your friendship than what people can do on the field, than what they could do at your job. You can't just pick, oh, he's my buddy. And don't do that. Who gives you the best possibility? So for me, you're right. It sucks that Solomon Thomas got drafted in the top 5. It wasn't his fault that we were misinformed and took a leap of faith and tried to go with the potential, whatever the case may be. Like, it's not his fault. So yeah, and you're right about the Kinlaw situation. Same thing. So
man, and then that was 2017. That was when we drafted freaking Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster.
Oh my God.
So double freaking whammy. Wasn't that their first year here?
First year here, and everybody thought they killed the draft because they thought they finessed the Bears. They were like, oh, they finessed the Bears. Because we had the second pick, went down to the third, and we got a third round pick for trading down one spot. So it was one of those things where it was like, man, like that whole draft to me, and I kind of gave them a pass on that draft because it was their first year. People say, oh, you shouldn't have gave them a pass, but it's their first year. They made some mistakes. So everybody's allowed to make some mistakes. Reuben Foster, I don't think that one person in this chat thought it was a bad pick.
Right.
He was projected to go top 10. He went at number 30th overall, or whatever it was. So for him to be picked where he was, I thought it was a freaking steal. I'm like, man, this dude is going to come in.
And he was a great player.
He was good. He just had injuries with his shoulders all the time. And then, he let that woman just come into his life. And I'm not going to just blame it on her. It takes two to tango. But yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, a great pick in Solomon Thomas though, and getting him. I mean, for you to select him, because yeah, he was doomed from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. I'm going to go another one. I don't know the year, so I'm just going off of my head. And this pick still burns me because Deshaun Jackson was sitting on the board. And I'm going to go Joshua Garnett.
No, 2016.
Dude, oh, my God. Was it that one? No. Was it 2016? Oh, well, yeah. Okay, then I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Deshaun Jackson was 2017 with Solomon Thomas.
Deshaun Jackson? I thought it was before that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was way before that. I'm thinking Kentuan Bomber was the guy's name. I'm thinking
that was 2008.
Maybe that's
Kentuan
the one.
Bomber.
Whoever we drafted, I think we had 2 first-round picks that year, if I remember. But I know our second pick of that draft was terrible because we picked that guy and Deshaun Jackson was on the board and we needed a receiver, and we didn't pick him up. And that Kentuan Bomber pick still haunts us. He's another one. A defensive tackle out of North Carolina, didn't do anything, fell in love with his measurables, and I think he was out of the league in probably less than 5 years. What is the story on him?
Let me see. Says Bomber recorded a whopping 0 sacks in his 5-year NFL career. The former UNC star also only recorded 2 quarterback hits and 5 tackles for a loss in his career. He only lasted 2 seasons in San Francisco. Calais Campbell went 22 picks later to the Arizona Cardinals. He's still playing. At this time, he was still playing in a 5-time Pro Bowler and has 88 career sacks. Yeah, the 49ers could have used that.
On who? Who was the last part?
Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for a long time, until recently, getting the Debos and the, Jawan Jennings and the Ayuks and stuff, we bombed on wide receiver for a long time.
Yep. Yep. So it's only right that I'm going to go with AJ Jenkins.
Oh my God.
2012. Wonderful pick that was. 3 games, like 3 fucking games, 0
Wow.
catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow. 0 yards. Wow.
yeah. A big fucking goose egg. Like, what? Only lasted 1 year. Played 2 more in Kansas City, where he also never found the end zone. Oh, this is the one. Receivers like Brian Quick, Alshon Jeffrey, Ruben Randall, Mohamed Sanu, T.Y. Hilton, Marvin Jones, all were drafted after Jenkins. 2012, number 30th pick overall. Damn shame.
Yeah, JV, we're talking about the Niners players who panned out,
Yeah.
not teams in the NFL. But you're right about Kevin White, because didn't we even have him for at
Yeah.
one point? Yeah, we tried to
couple years ago.
resurrect. Yeah, we tried to resurrect his career, and didn't work out here either. Yeah,
That's one of Shanahan's studs.
Yep, when I talk, yeah, he was. I think he was picked like number 5 overall, and you know who was picked after him? Tyler Lockett.
You know, we're here talking about all these wide receivers that, you know, the 49ers have picked that haven't worked out yet. You know, all these people want to just trade off freaking Brandon Ayuk like he's fucking just so easy to just trade him off and draft another one, you know?
Yeah.
Just draft another one. We'll just be able to just draft another one. Like, we haven't been able to just draft another one for how many fucking years? Like, how long have we been trying to find a legit number 1 wide receiver?
Yeah, for a long time.
Let's just trade them away. Like,
yeah,
when we finally get good players, people just want to trade them away and try to find another one, like, so that we can bitch about not having one for another fucking 30 years.
Exactly.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, because we were terrible for the longest time. Like, I think, you know, even Crabtree, you know, I thought he'd be better than what he was. He had a couple solid years, but not to really say he was a top 10 pick worthy. But then I feel like when he went to the Raiders, he got a little bit better playing with Derek Carr. But yeah, we went a long time without having a wide, and we've been so blessed as 49er fans to have the receivers we have had. Like, you know, you can argue the top 3 receivers in NFL history have played for the Niners: Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, and Randy Moss. All of them have played for us, so we're spoiled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how long has it been?
Long time.
Like everything else when it comes to this fucking franchise.
Yep.
You kind of mentioned Josh Garnett.
Yeah.
So I do have some things on him real quick. Let's see. His was drafted 2016, 28th overall. I remember when he was drafted too. And I thought, you know, like he would be decent. And it was like he was fucking gone before I could even blink my eyes. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he was soft.
Garnett became the first freshman to start on Stanford's offensive line since 2000, and then won the Outland Trophy as the nation's best interior lineman when he was a senior. That talent did not translate to the NFL. The Stanford product was part of Trent Baalke's last draft as the 49ers GM. Garnett played in 15 games as a rookie and only played 5 more after that. He was cut before the 2019 season. Man, I wonder, I don't know. You think it's, I guess I'm talking to myself. I wonder if he just got stuck in like the transition, you know, from you know, like the takeover, or you think he was just like stuck because it says that, you know, like he was, so it says he was part of Baalke's last draft. And it says he played in 15 games as a rookie, and then he was cut before the 2019 season. So I don't remember what reasoning why they cut him. Do you think it was like he was stuck in the transitioning? Because remember, they came in and cleaned house.
Yeah, well, that too. And then like I remember one of those years he was hurt. And then he was never, I think when we changed over, he wasn't physical enough for this regime too. Like he was just so soft, and he was just, I don't know, it was a bad pick. I feel like, you know, it's funny, you like all these offensive linemen that come from Stanford. So I know some of these 49er fans will remember too. You got people like Kwame Harris. Do you guys remember him? Kwame Harris, a left tackle, another one from Stanford that was soft.
Yeah, so 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had said him, Bryant. That was
Yeah,
TL's first guy.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if you have any more. I had wrote down just some special
Um,
mentions.
yeah. I'll name one more. Mike Rump
Yep, I have him on here.
out of Miami. It's so funny too. He came in at the University of Miami. That defense was stacked. Like Miami, probably one of the best teams in college football history at that point when they had Ken Dorsey at quarterback. And it was funny. Mike Rump, I never forget it. Coming out of Miami, he came out. We needed a corner. In 3 years at Miami, he never gave up a touchdown, not one. And then he comes to San Francisco, and that's all he did was give him up. But I never forget. I never forget. We played somebody, and this is when Shannon Sharp used to work for like CBS or one of those teams. And Shannon Sharp don't hold back. and they said they called this man Deion Sanders coming out of college, but right now he's playing like Dionne Warwick. and I remember Terry Bradshaw. Oh no, not Terry Bradshaw. Oh man, who's the Hall of Fame alignment defensive lineman for the Raiders? The white guy. He had a son that played in the NFL too. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he looked at him and was like, "Really, bro? You know who Deion? Everybody, people who don't know, Dionne Warwick was like a psychic on TV after hours, black lady." And when Shannon Sharp said that, me and my brother looked at each other and was like, "That's cold business." He goes, "That man is supposed to be playing like Deion Sanders, but right now he's playing like Dionne Warwick."
That's
Howie
funny.
Long. It was Howie Long that said that. Howie Long was like,
Wow.
"Really, Shannon? Like Dionne Warwick?" He's like, "Well, he ain't playing like Deion Sanders." So yeah, that was hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
funny, man. JP says, "What about the quarterback from the early 2000s?" I don't know who he's talking about.
Well, if talking about first
Druckenmiller?
rounder, did it? Yeah, Jim Druckenmiller out of Virginia Tech. Yeah, he's another one. Strong arm guy that didn't pan out for us. Yeah, he was a first round pick as well. So
And I think
I remember.
didn't they turn Mike Rumpf into a safety? I thought too.
I think they tried to like after a few
And they
years and that
stuck
didn't
to.
work out. I think they should have did that in the first place because he was a big body, 6'2", 200 pounds. He could hit, but didn't have the foot speed. And I think just our scheme just didn't work for him and stuff like that. And me and my brother kept saying we should make him a safety because he just would be a better safety. And they finally did it a few years later, and it didn't work out. Then he ended up going to another team, and it was all bad. But yeah, he was so dominant. He played with that Sean Taylor, Ed Reed defense. So that secondary was stacked, and there was another first round corner named Philip Buchanan that was back there. So they had all four of their starters in that secondary made the pros. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think he was probably hidden a little bit, and they weren't probably picking on him as much because, like I said, when you have Sean Taylor and Ed Reed back there playing safety, that's filthy.
Yeah. What about, let's see, your guy Taylor Mays?
Oh Lord. Well, he wasn't a first round pick, so that was a good thing. But yeah, second round pick. I was high on him. I thought he was going first round. And I remember it was funny. My daughter at the time was really. When did he get drafted? What year? Was it like
2010?
2010? Yes, I think that my daughter was born that year. My youngest, she was born July that year, and I was picking her up from my mom's house. I'll never forget picking her from my mom's house because I was like, I ain't paying for no daycare. I picked my mom's, and some guy saw me in my 49ers outfit. He was an older white guy. Came out. He said, "You're a Niners fan, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." And we're talking, and I forget. He was like, who do you like on the team? I was like, "I'm really high on Taylor Mays and blah blah blah." And he was like, "That guy's not gonna pan out." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Why not? Why don't you think so?" He was like, "He takes poor angles. He remember he ran like a 4.27. Like he was super fast at like 6'3", 230. It was a physical specimen, but just didn't know how to play football." So he and I'll never forget. You know what's so funny about him? He got mad at Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll took Earl Thomas in the first round at safety and not him. He was like, "I played for you at USC. You're not going to take me?" Well, Pete Carroll made the right decision. But anyway, so the guy was telling me, yeah, he's not going to he's going to do this, going to do that, whatever the case may be. And then I was like, no, he should be good. He should be good. So if I were to see him again, I'd be like, dude, you were right. You were right, man. Like I wish I would have listened to you because I was going to bat for him. Like, what he doesn't do can be taught, and he never learned it. So yeah. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
Let's talk about some of the 49ers best draft picks, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
I'm going to start with my guy, Frank Gore.
Mhm.
The guy they said not to draft because, he has those torn up knees. He's never going to be any good. He's all busted up. That guy. The guy that, been running for his entire life, never stopped running, ran longer than anybody else's all busted up ass. Barely just stopped running last year. That guy. Yeah, him. I'm going with him.
Yeah, it was a third round pick, and I ain't gonna lie, I was one of them. I was like, man, I don't know. I thought we made a mistake. I wanted Marion Barber from ended up playing for the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, Marion Barber. I remember watching him at the University of Minnesota. I'm like, man, he's a great pick, and I was just like some of those fans. I was down on Frank Gore. I say this to this day. If I were to meet the man, I'd shake his hand and apologize and tell him he proved me wrong because I literally thought as a running back, 2 torn ACLs, like that's unheard of to come back and have the career that he had. You know what I mean? He tore both ACLs at the University of Miami. Like and I was like, man, this dude, and he ended up going third round. Great pick. I mean, awesome. I love him. One of my favorite Niners to ever play the game. So yeah, kudos to you, Frank Gore. Yeah, Giovanni Camarzi is another one who got picked after Tom Brady. So I mean, sorry, before Tom Brady. Yeah, before Tom Brady. So yeah, that's another one. I'm gonna say as far as value, who we picked, I'm going Terrell Owens.
Yep.
A third round pick out of a very small college. I think it was Tennessee Chattanooga, right? Is that what you got? Or you didn't write the colleges down? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He came out of Tennessee Chattanooga, the third round pick. And I was like, oh, he's going to be our third receiver because that's when we all still had hopes for J.J. Stokes out of UCLA, who didn't. That's another first round pick we could have used.
Yeah.
But J.J. Stokes, but I think but you said 2000. This was in the 90s. But yeah, so J.J. Stokes, and I was like, oh, he'll be our third receiver. I mean, he ended up getting that man cut. He was so good. I'm like, man, this dude Terrell Owens is a monster. Took him about his third year before he actually finally dominated. But bang for your buck, Terrell Owens, absolutely Hall of Famer. I mean, top 3 receiver ever, in my opinion. So,
I'm gonna go Vernon Davis. He's the man. There's not much to say. I don't think there's much to say about these best ones. We know.
Yeah.
We obviously know they're good.
Yeah. Yeah. If we're gonna go one more, obviously I'm gonna have to go with George Kittle. 5th round pick. Been playing for 6 years. It's always been back and forth, always arguments. Who was the best? Him, Travis Kelce. This year, we had a quarterback who actually gave him the ball, and didn't throw no hospital balls to him. And he had a great second half of the year. He started dominating once Purdy came in. So yeah, George Kittle, pick. I don't know what pick it was, but picked in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the career he's had, it's amazing. He's going to be a Hall of Famer as well, being the 5th pick. And arguably, you can say this goes back and forth as well. He can probably say, he's but it depends on what you want in a tight end. He's 1, 2, or 3 in 49ers history at tight end. You always have people who like Brent Jones back in the 80s. Then you got Vernon Davis, and then you got George Kittle. Just I guess it's pick your poison. I like Vernon Davis because he wasn't talked about as a blocker, even though he was a great blocker, but his receiving skills were impeccable. Like that playoff run we had when we lost to the Giants, he took over. I never seen a tight end take over a playoff series as much as Vernon Davis did that year.
Yeah. We've been lucky with some tight ends too.
Yeah.
And the nice thing, at least we keep the tight ends for like a block of time, It's not like,
even if we don't draft you, even if we don't draft you like Dwelly.
Yeah.
You tend to stick around.
Well, I don't know how happy I am about that one.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I'm going to go with Fred Warner. Obviously, these players, they still have a few years of their careers, hopefully, but to be able to draft him in the third. I always call him our Iron Man. He's, always there. He's um, down in, down out. He's there. He runs that defense. He keeps that defense going. I can't say enough great things about that guy. But yeah,
he's another third round pick.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Probably last one. I'm gonna go with if I'm going bang for your buck. I'm gonna go with Debo. He was the 36th overall pick in the draft. Looking back at it, he definitely should have went in the first round. Dude's just been awesome for us. Last year, well, not this last year, this past 2 seasons ago, he carried this offense. And he earned my. I don't know. Even though I loved him as a player, he earned my respect because the way he didn't complain. He just kept getting the ball, whether it's in the backfield, playing a couple downs at quarterback, throwing touchdowns to Juwan Jennings, and giving his body out for the fullest because he helped us will our way into the playoffs that year when we had to win like our last 5 games or something like that. Like we had to win those games. And then he went out there and he did his thing. And then, of course, only thing that has really been his issue to me is just his health, having them hamstring injuries. But other than that, he keeps playing the way he does. He'll definitely go down as one of the best Niners ever.
Yep. I agree. So, yeah, we definitely have made some mistakes on the drafting. But they've had some good drafts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the draft not so greats is bigger than the greats, but
Yeah.
hopefully the list will even out one day.
Oh, can I add one more just as
Sure.
a honorable mention that we probably should have mentioned? I'm gonna go Joe Staley. Late first round pick. I mean, played. I don't know which Michigan he went to. Is either Central Michigan or Western Michigan? I think it was Central Michigan. Which one he went to. He was picked in the late round, played tight end, first 2 years in college, and then ended up putting on some weight and going tackle. And that dude was just a beast for us. Played over a decade, Iron Man. Like, dude was the man. Like, he never really complained. Whatever contract was offered to them, he got. You know what I mean? I love me some Joe Staley, and always was a great locker room guy. So he's another one who we hit on, who was drafted late first. Was look at his career, he probably should have been a top 10 pick.
Yep. The Joe Show. Gotta love him. What's up, SG? What's up, media? Good to see you guys. We're getting out of here. We appreciate everybody that stopped through on this early Tuesday episode. Yeah. You got anything to say before we get out of here?
No, I appreciate everybody joining the chat. I know this is probably unusual for you guys seeing me and Miriah this early, but me and Miriah got to keep it spicy for y'all. You never know when we're gonna show up. So, yeah, I just love to see you guys on here. I know a lot of you guys are probably at work, but you still decided to tune in with us, so I appreciate that.
See you, J Dog. Appreciate you stopping through. Yeah. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. I'll be back tonight with my guys, Ryan and Beto, on Ryan's channel. So make sure you catch us over there on No Border Sports. And then, as I told you guys last week, I'm going to start doing the lunchtime shows. I think I'm going to do them Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, probably at noon. So I'll probably start those maybe this week, starting Saturday. If not, then I'll start it Monday.
Yeah.
But as you guys can probably tell, my camera's going out. So if it does before then we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just keep working with it till it does.
Yeah. Before we step out too, I want to say, because I probably won't talk to any of you guys, happy Easter. Easter's this Sunday coming up. So hope everybody gets some time to spend with their families, eat some good food, and remember why we're here. So
yep. But yeah, I'll see you guys definitely before then, because I got shows all week. You know how we do.
She busy.
Yep. But yeah, I'll catch you guys. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Everybody have a safe week. I'll catch you guys later. We're out of here.